Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to do a demonstration on parallel compression versus regular compression. I have 3 drum stems here. They're 8 bar counts. The first one is clean, and then the next 2, one of them is a drum stem with compression, and then the other is a drum stem with parallel compression. So let's take a listen to all 3, and I'm going to let you guys decide which one, drum A or drum B, is a parallel compression. And then a little bit later, we're going to take a look at what's going on and how I made these stems. So let's take a listen to drums clean. Alright, so it's a fairly clean recorded drum sound. You got direct mics on all elements of the kit. You got your overheads and also some room mic blended into this drum stem. So before we move on to drums A and drums B, I want to point out that the peak volume for all 3 is -7 dB. So you're not going to get any peak volume changes impacting your decision. And also all 3 are at unity volume. So I just wanted to make that note there. And it's just compression impacting drums A and B, no EQ or any other processing. So let's take a listen to drums A. And now let's take a listen to drums B. So what I'm going to do for this next playback is jump between A and B and let you guys take a listen comparing both. Cool. So while you guys think about which one is a parallel compression, A or B, I'm going to talk through the compression settings for the compressed drums and the parallel compressed drums. So for the compressed drums, we have an attack of 3 milliseconds, release of 0.1 milliseconds, and a ratio of 4. And we're knocking down the peaks at a 4 dB gain reduction. For the parallel compression, so we had 2 stems fed into a bus. The first stem was kept clean, and then the second stem used the exact same compression settings as the compressed drums, but in that stem I was knocking it down 12 dB and blending that compressed sound back into the clean drums. So if you guys haven't guessed it, I'm going to reveal what's parallel compression right now. So just a warning, if you want to pause this video. Parallel compression is drums B. So let's take a listen again. And now that you know that drums A is compression, drums B is parallel compression, try to see if that impacts what you hear. So as you can hear, the difference is very subtle, but there's a tiny bit more sustain in drums B, and a little bit more weight in there while keeping the transients intact. The transients, felt fairly intact with the regular compressed sound, and it still sounded great. Drums B just had just a tiny bit more weight in there. So I'm going to show you what the details of the raw tracks here, and you can see what's going on with the compression. So let's take a listen to the compressed sound, and let's open up the compressor. Alright, and let's take a listen to the parallel compression sound. Here is the clean drum track. Here's the compressed drum track, and I'm blending that back into the clean drum sound. They're mixed a little bit, so the compressed sound is at minus 6.2 dB, the clean sound is at minus 2.6, but in the end, you still got the same peak of minus 7.0 dB. So I'm going to change it to peak, and you're going to see that here. So let's play that sound, and I'll show you the compression settings. So take a look at what the compressor is doing, and also the peak volume at the end of the track. All right, so you can see that the peaks on the compressed stem was knocked down by 12 dB. We ended up with the same peak volume of minus 7.0 dB. If you wanted to take a listen just to the compressed sound, this is what it sounds like. And I'll turn that up here. So you can hear that the transients are pretty much squashed, but with the fast release time, the compressor releases to bring out the sustain and the room and that weight of the drum kit. So parallel compression, is a pretty good tool. And as we've heard between the drums A and drums B, it's very difficult to tell the difference. And just because parallel compression is known to add weight to the sound, doesn't mean that you can throw on that you can't throw on your compressor on the bus and not get that same weight. So it all depends on the program material that you're working with as well. Parallel compression might not sound that good on the kit. And in this case, I'm not saying that one sounds better than the other. I'm just saying that there's a tiny bit more weight in the parallel version versus just a regular compressed version. So, and it all depends on the song you're mixing too. So let's try to do something really quick. Let's have the parallel compression drum kit be a little louder, and then let's take down the clean. Let's gain it so that the peak is still at 7. So I know that the highest peak was somewhere around here. So let's play this section so that we can adjust our peak volume. So that's pretty close, minus 7.1. So let's take a listen to that version versus the regular compressed version. And I'll bounce back between both of them. So here is a compressed version. All right, and I'll jump to the parallel compression. Back to the clean. Back to the parallel. Now that sound really adds a lot of weight, and you can definitely hear the parallel compression working in that. You got a lot of sustain, you have a lot of weight to the drum kit. Like I said before, it's not, this video is not saying that one is better than the other, but just showing that with parallel compression, you can achieve a totally different sound on your drum bus. So try it out. There's a million videos on YouTube about parallel compression and how to set that up, so I won't go through that here. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an A/B on this drum stem and see what you guys thought. So subscribe, watch, and hope you enjoyed this. See you guys in the next one. Bye.